Hi everybody, John from PSI back again with another instructional video. Today we're going to talk about the power and ground connections when using a PSI harness. So as some of you may know, a PSI harness is laid out exactly how it needs to be on your engine and trans. So there's really no guesswork in where a lot of the connections go. Plus there's full instructions that are included in tech support over the phone. So it's very easy to hook everything up once you get it laid out on the engine and transmission. However, we do get questions quite a bit about where to put the ignition power, constant power, and ground connections. So today, that's what I'm going to talk to you about. The first connection that you have is an ignition power connection. This is a single red wire that comes off our fuse relay center. That wire needs to go directly to an ignition source on your chassis fuse center. And a simple way to check where that connection is to take a test light or a digital voltometer and with the key in the on position, hook it up to that position on your chassis fuse block, and then turn the key to the crank position as well. When you do this, you should have 12 volts in both positions. If you only have 12 volts in the on position and not in the chassis cranking position or the key cranking position, then this is not a good position or connection to have this wire to. So again, to sum up, make sure that you have 12 volts in key on and cranking position. The next connection is the constant battery connection. And these two wires will be located, they will go to the big lug of your starter. And I have the starter right here. The big lug is where your battery connection is going to go. So those two wires need to go to that same position. So you're going to have both those wires and your battery on this same lug. This is different than your cranking wire. This is typically a purple wire in most GM applications. This is part of your chassis harness. This is not part of the PSI harness. So your chassis harness, whatever that cranking wire is, whether it's an American Auto wire harness or a factory GM harness that you have in the vehicle, that's your cranking wire. This big lug is where your battery wire is going to go and where the two big red wires in the PSI harness go as well. The last connection is going to be your grounds. Now these are very important. We position our grounds to the back of the cylinder head because in most applications people are running their battery ground to the back of the cylinder head. Now in some cases people have a battery in their trunk or they have it in some other position of the car and maybe they haven't run their ground cable all the way to the chassis. If that is the case, we highly recommend you look into our ground kit, which includes a bunch of different wires as well as instructions on where to run grounds, and it gives you the grounds in the kit to make sure that you have a well-grounded engine and transmission. This is very critical in a computer-controlled engine. If you do not have good grounds, you're going to have all types of electrical gremlins or things that aren't working properly, or maybe they work intermittently. So make sure you have good, clean, strong grounds. So again, to sum up, you've switched ignition power, which needs 12 volts key on and cranking. You have constant power at the big lug of your starter with your battery cable, and you have grounds at the back of the cylinder head. Once those are hooked up, that's the only integration that we have with your chassis harness, and you're going to be running and driving. Hope you found this video useful. If you did, please subscribe or hit the like button. If you have any questions or you want to leave some comments, please do so. You can check us out on psiconversion.com or on social media at facebook.com/psiconversion or instagram.com/psiconversion.